What up, folks? How you doing? It's your friend Phil here, project management trainer and coach. A student said, Phil, what is the difference between develop project charter and develop project management plan? In fact, in an organization I trained, they were using their project charter illegally as a project management plan. They basically took the charter and made it into something that, in my opinion, is not really meant to be. But since it was working for them, I didn't give them the sermon of one piece. I just said, okay, if that's working for you, keep on doing what you're doing, but just know that this isn't really a charter. Basically, they had taken the charter and made a big old document out of it called something else, still referred to it as a charter, but it was really a detailed document to the effect of it being a project management plan, I'll call it semi-project management plan, you know. So the project charter has certain characteristics about it. If you read the develop project charter process, you'll realize that it is defined as a document with high level. The word high level is predominant throughout. High level scope, high level assumptions, high level constraints, high level deliverable description, high level this, high level that. That's how the charter is typically referred to. Now, in the current version of the PMBOK guide, the assumptions and constraints are collected in the assumption log. It used to be all collected at a high level in the charter, but the assumption log is where you would collect the assumptions and constraints. And as the project proceeds, those assumptions and constraints are fleshed out, some more. But right there in initiating, there's a lot that happens. But let's focus on the charter. Whatever makes its way into the charter, even if you choose to include high-level risks or high-level assumptions, high-level constraints, that's all right. But make it high-level. The moment you're getting into detail, you are straying away from the purpose of Develop Project Charter. The project charter is not meant to capture planning information. It's meant to capture the project initiating information, to establish the playing field. These are the boundaries, and this is what the project is meant to accomplish at a high level. End of story. By the time you're going into so many pages and it's becoming this big old document that is too detailed, there's a difference between milestones versus a detailed schedule. There's a difference between the high-level budget versus you going into an estimating party and using analogous and 3-point and parametric all at once. That's not the way to roll with the charter. The charter is a very high-level document, and it's meant to give people an understanding of the project so that they can effectively plan. If you're trying to do the planning right there, that is incorrect. I often tell people I train, don't give your team more work than they need to have. In my opinion, if I had my way, I would make the charter on a typical project. I'm not saying every project, but the typical project, I would love to make those charters 1 page, preferably, and if not 1 page, 2 at worst. The moment we're going into multiple pages, you're already losing your audience, because the audience for this are not you, the project manager. It is for people coming aboard the project, for them to really understand what needs to be planned, what needs to be defined. It also helps align the project manager and the sponsor, the project manager and team members. The moment you're going off on a rabbit trail, getting all crazy with planning at this stage, it's definitely too much. So the difference between developing the charter and developing the project management plan is the project charter is at a high level. the project management plan takes the charter and maps out how is our plan going to look. You know, what is our project management plan going to look like? And then after that, in the individual knowledge areas, you then begin to define one by one the different areas of knowledge. You plan out scope, you plan out schedule, you plan out cost, you plan out quality, you plan out resources, you plan out communications, you plan out risk, you plan out procurement, you plan out stakeholder, and you put all of that stuff together. You put all of that stuff together into the project management plan, basically assembling everything into one project management plan, as it were. You see, so that is how it should be. You know, the project management plan is the assembly of several subsidiary plans, and that gives, you know, people working on the project the roadmap for how to get from A to B. But it's detailed and it takes a lot of planning efforts. You know, it could go on for months. In fact, some people say your planning effort should be 20% of your project. You know, it doesn't always hold true, but that's what people, you know, people in the industry, they often estimate. Some people say it's 10, some say 15, some say 20. But the bottom line is it's a significant effort to plan. All right. So that's pretty much it. I wish I could go on and on. I have a lot to say about develop project management plan, but I've got stakeholders waiting to get into the car, so I need to round this up. All right, take care, folks. Speak to you soon. Bye for now.